Hello friend, welcome to 10 Bestest, where we sift through the noise so you don't have to. I'm Karen McFarlane-Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Today I am going to share about Canada's secret weapon.
And I'm going to share fun and easy Japanese money-saving philosophies. Let's get to it.
My cool sheet is related to food science. I've been doing some food science ones lately, and this time I'm talking about maple syrup. I have recently started using pure maple syrup as a sweetener, way more than I ever have. And the more I learn about it, the more I love. First off, natural product, no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. For the win. Moreover, it has nutrients beyond what you find in many other sweeteners. I had no idea about these nutrients that maple syrup has. It's rich in the mineral manganese, which is necessary for healthy bones and connective tissue. It's also rich in riboflavin, which helps reduce fatigue. It's also a source of copper, which is important in healthy connective tissue, the nervous and immune systems, and hair color and skin pigmentation. Along with all this goodness though, it's an amazing process of how maple syrup is collected and made. It's not made because it's natural, but all of this, I just love this. So first off, just want to remind you, if you didn't know, most maple syrup comes from Quebec, Canada. That climate is perfect for the maple trees and the sap. In the summer, the maple tree produces sugar through the process of photosynthesis. The sugar powers the tree's cellular respiration and promotes its growth. Then in the spring, this is when the magic happens. The alternating nighttime frost and daytime thaw promotes the flow of sap through the maple tree. During the cold night, the branches freeze, and this causes the gases in the fibers to contract. So the gases would be like oxygen and carbon dioxide. The sap also freezes, but unlike the gas, it expands because water, when it's frozen, is less dense than when it's a liquid. So all night long, the water absorbed by the roots rises up through the tree, soaking up the sugar reserves as it goes. And when the daytime comes, the air warms and thaws the tree's branches, the heat liquefies the sap, and then the gas in the tree's fibers begin to expand, and this causes pressure that pushes the sweetened sap out of the tree trunk. And then we can collect it, we boil it, and ta-da! You have maple syrup.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I did not even know anything about this until I saw it. It's maybe it's alive, or it was Brad from Bon Appetit did a video on it.
Cool.
I mean, because they were
yes,
and they were taking maple. So they did it. Is this talk about this? Like that are literally like almost like a spigot into a tree, and it just like whoop, and then they collect it in a bucket. And that's how they, like, it looked like a cartoon. Like the way they collect it. It does not look like this could be real. Like there should be some kind of machine or you know, labor that we're not paying well enough for something to do it. No. But it was like wild to me.
Yes, it
is. You're basically hooking up a spigot to a tree.
That concept is
and
bizarre.
It just comes out, and it was amazing.
Now, the whole thing with drilling and then hanging the bucket, that's old school.
Okay.
It's traditional.
Okay.
It is not how it's done on the large scale, but
that makes sense.
The whole concept is the same. Now they use, it's actually a little bit better for the tree. It's
That's
gentler,
good. Yeah.
And they just use plastic tubing and things like that.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different, but the concept is
wild.
the same. Yeah. No, that old school hanging the bucket, you totally could. And I bet you anything, there are people who, you know, just for fun, if they live in that area, that they do the drill and the hanging the bucket.
Yeah,
so
I think
cool.
it definitely makes a better YouTube video to do it that way.
Yeah, but check this out. You need 40 liters of the sap to get 1 liter of the syrup.
Dang. And it is, so I think you just said it, but this is kind of a renewable resource. This isn't like killing trees.
No, exactly.
This is not,
the trees can handle it.
And that's what's really cool.
And it would be, detrimental. I mean, it'd just be sad for the tree, but also if your idea is to get the sap, you're not going to hurt the tree because the tree is helping you. So, so as long as you take just the amount that you need, but let the tree still be healthy, then all is well in the world, and it is sustainable.
And I am actually a big maple syrup user of that pure 100%. Because don't get the Mrs. Butterworth or whatever that says it's maple syrup.
No, it is not. It is
totally
not.
Different.
It's corn syrup with food coloring.
And it probably doesn't even have any real maple syrup at all in it, right? This is wild.
No.
Yeah, but the good stuff, I'll put it just a little dash in my smoothies if I'm like really kale heavy or all veg. I'm like, I need just a little something, or I'm not going to be able to get this down. And maple syrup's always my go-to.
It's so good.
So I'm glad to know that it has these other minerals. That's good for you.
Yeah, it is.
I just knew it was a kind of a cleaner, sweet source. So instead of just putting raw sugar in there or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, cool. Thank you so much
You're
for sharing that.
welcome.
It's fascinating. All right, I'm going to share an article. This is Japanese philosophies that help you spend money consciously. This is by Raul Chowdhury, I believe, from Hurley.com. So I love this article. He talks about all these different philosophies, and they're not necessarily all about money, but they phrase them in a way to help you think about money, which I love. So the first one is Chisoku, and I apologize for my pronunciation of some of these words, but I'm going to try my best. Chisoku talks about being content with what you already have. So need is limited, but want can be infinite. Now, a lot of these are not rocket science or a brand new concept, but a very good reminder. We often end up buying more things necessary than we can ever handle. We are sold by clever marketing, or we just get caught up in temptation. So this is just another way to remind yourself to be content with what you already have. You don't need that new shiny object. The next one is wabi sabi. So you actually, Karen, talked about this in episode 54, another old school retro word. But I love this because it talks about finding beauty in imperfection. So that is what wabi sabi means, but relating it to material things and money, as things age and decay, they become more beautiful. So you don't need that new wallet or purse. The one that you have that is a little bit worn actually makes it more beautiful and has more character and more meaning to you. So I love that. I love looking at that and looking at it in such a new way. The other one is Matate. Matate teaches us that every object has more than one purpose. So this isn't just talking about one-use kitchen items, although it does also talk about that, but it talks about the second R in the infamous reduce, reuse, and recycle. So it's reusing something, reusing a glass jar that you got some product in, reusing a glass bottle as a vase, all these different things. I love this article so much. Definitely check it out. The Japanese philosophies that help you spend money consciously.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Oh, it helps me, and it helps just the whole idea of I'm going through and I'm cleaning a lot in my house, and I'm finding these old things, or just thinking about my house. My house was built in 1949, and just appreciating it for what it is, and these things, and holding off on replacing things with new things that I don't need. So this is an awesome reminder. If
it's working fine, you don't need necessarily. And we were actually, before the show, we were talking about water bottles, and I was like, I do have a water bottle. It's maybe not the perfect size, and I lost the one that was the perfect size, but I don't really need a new one. I have something that works. So I have it, and I just love because you do know these things, but when you kind of relate it to a philosophy, you change your mindset that I am just a person that practices wabi-sabi, and this helps me in so many different ways. I love that approach to it because it makes it, to me, a little more meaningful and tangible. In some way, I'll actually use it versus just saying, I just don't need new things. because I have old stuff.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it kind of
Right.
reframes your mind. And it doesn't talk about just being frugal. Like that's not the purpose of this article or these philosophies, because it is all about spending money on things that bring you joy. So experiences or things is totally fine, but just being a little more conscious about what you're doing and why you're spending the money. So I thought it was really cool, because it's not just like don't spend. Just don't
Right.
spend money, save
Right.
it all, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of, that can get boring, that can be too hard and like overwhelming to somebody.
Yeah.
So I love this approach so much.
Mindfulness.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And if you want to find out more about any of the things we've been talking about, you can go to 10bestest.com/countdown. Thank you for joining us, friend. I'm Karen McFarland Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Let us know in the comments, do you use maple syrup for anything besides pancakes?
And let us know, what's your relationship with money right now?
If you're enjoying the show, please give us a like and share it with a friend.
Stay tuned tomorrow for another great show.
And don't forget to stay curious.